Welcome back, randos, to the Fandom at Random podcast.
Frightfest.
Oh, you know we're Frightfesting up in this bitch.
Fucking A.
So welcome back in. I am Ed. That is Brian, my better half. And we welcome you to Fandom Frightfest. Yes, it continues all throughout the month of October. If you're just tuning in now, welcome to the podcast. Check us out, fandomatrandom.com, all the ways to follow, like, watch, you know the drill.
Yes, sir.
But this entire month, the All Hallows Eve, scary as shit horror month that Brian lives for.
The horror!
We will be coming at you with a bunch of freaky, scary fandoms. This one not so scary.
No,
this is a family-friendly fandom cast.
We're just, we're breaking you in. Just hitting you with the tip, and then next you'll get the shaft, and then next thing you know, we'll be balls deep in horror. So,
so if that didn't scare you away.
I forgot, family episode.
Family. This is family, bro. Come on. But before we get into our kind of fandom focus of the week, so you've been posting like horror reviews of horror films and other properties on Instagram, correct?
Yeah, so I did slack this week. I'm back a couple days due to physical limitations. Migraines are a fucking bitch, and I'm trying to deal with it. But yes, I'm watching a new horror movie I haven't seen every day of October. And a lot of them are probably stuff you probably haven't heard of, or maybe you heard of in passing, but it's all really good shit. And I've watched a lot of good ones so far. Brian at Random on Instagram is definitely where to go to check it out. Also, I started that new clock app thing, the Ticker Talker or whatever.
TikTok?
Yeah, TikTok.
TikTok.
Brian at Random. I'm also posting some cool horror shit on there if you want to take a look. But yeah, so if you need something to watch through October for Halloween, I'm your guy.
Yeah. Awesome.
Just bring some cheeseburgers, man.
And if you need something to watch with the family throughout October, this is the episode you want to check out. We're going to get right into it, Brian.
Yeah.
No drops, no anything. We're just getting right in.
No fuckery here.
Yeah, nope. So we're getting into our top 10 family-friendly Halloween flicks for today. And I'm not going to lie, this one was tough, man.
Yeah, it was a fun one, but it was really hard.
So this was a consensus top 10. So what Brian and I do, we each make our own top 10 list out of all family-friendly Halloween films that are near and dear to us. And unbeknownst to one another, so we don't know how we're ranking them. Again, first being the best, 10 being the worst.
So a little bit of a head note, too. I kind of went a little out of the box. Family-friendly, I kind of covered all ages. So we'll have some good ones on my side for kids, and then also like preteens that you might be looking to break into horror without breaking their minds. I got some good ones that might be a little scary. So this covers all ages.
Yeah, and I kind of did similar. A couple of my picks are, you could definitely, like, I would not let my son watch them until he was, an early teenager. Even though you and I were seeing crazy shit, like, before we were even 10.
Yeah, Nightmare on Elm Street 2, 6 years old, loved it. Still remember it to this day.
I saw Jaws when I was, I went up to visit my Uncle John in Vermont.
Yeah.
And he showed me Jaws at, the age of 6.
Damn.
To this day, I can't even go in a swimming pool without having a panic attack.
See, that was Creepshow 2 for me. The film short where it's the big blob in the middle of the lake. It's called The Raft.
Yeah.
That scarred me for fucking years.
That's a good flick.
And anytime I seen a stick floating in the water, bear shit, whatever, yeah, I would run.
So again, this is a consensus top 10, so we each made our top 10, we mashed them together, and then consensus, whatever makes it to the 10 did. But at the end, there will be honorable mentions because this was difficult. It really was, because there's so many good ones. Let's kick things off at number 10.
Yeah.
And this is a great film to kick things off.
I don't know if you know this, but Wolfman does have nards. Does, in fact, have nards.
Wolfman has nards.
Yep.
The Monster Squad.
Yeah,
dude. At number 10. So this was not in my top 10, but it was in my... I had what was in contention. This was so damn close to making my top 10. Brian, you had this at number 4. I'm going to let you take it.
Honestly, I couldn't believe you didn't have this in your top 10 at all because...
It was close, man. It was like my... Yeah. If there was an 11th pick, this would have been it.
This could have been my number one because if I really think it out, this has everything.
It does.
It can be scary for some kids. It has all the Universal monsters,
great comedy
humor,
too.
Everything. It's got it all. And I watched it 100 times as a kid, especially around Halloween. It seemed like an obvious choice for me.
Yeah, and Randos, if you have not seen this and you want to check it out with the fam, came back out in 1987. It's a classic comedy horror film. It was directed by Fred Decker, written by Decker himself as well. But it follows some young kids going against, like, Dracula ends up drafting like a super team of movie monsters.
Right. It's basically the Fandom fighters of movie monsters.
Yeah, he's got the Wolfman. It's pretty much the creature from the Black Lagoon.
Gilman, yep.
Frankenstein.
And appropriate. So I think it'd be good to name ages for each movie too. I'd say you're good from like 5 and up because it's got some language, but other than that, appropriate for most.
Yeah, it's really not that gory. It's not that. So I would tend to agree with Brian. I would say if you've got like a 6-7-year-old, they're fine to turn this film on and watch it. Like, I'd be fine watching this with my son.
Yeah.
So number 10, The Monster Squad. Number 9, Halloweentown.
Yeah.
I had this at number 4. Brian, this was not in your top 10.
Was not. Yeah, it was going to be a close one, but unfortunately for a horror guy like me, I've seen it all, and this just didn't break the top 10.
Yeah, and this came out in 1998. It was a Disney Channel original film, and I remember watching this religiously when it came out with my sister, and it's fantastic. It stars the late Debbie Reynolds, who is fantastic in it,
Yep.
and Kimberly J. Brown.
Tom Brady's daughter.
Yeah.
With that goddamn chin.
I know. But she ends up, unbeknownst to her, she's a witch. And her OG family tries to bring her up as, not being in that realm of magic. And then the grandmother shows up, Debbie Reynolds, brings her to a town of magic and mystery.
This plot it sounds familiar.
Does it?
Is her name Harry Potter?
Yeah, J.K. Rowling.
I'm wondering
rip this shit off.
I'm wondering where she got her plot line from.
Well, 98. I'd have to go back. When was the original Harry Potter?
It had to have been 2002, maybe?
It was
2001?
Maybe. Yeah, I'd have to go back and look.
Yeah.
I'm not sure exactly. But
I smell sabotage.
it's a great family film. This is one that it doesn't matter
ages.
what the age is. Yep. You could sit down with your 3-year-old, 5-year-old, even your 16-year-old, and they would probably get something out of this film because it's classic Disney magic in a literal town of Halloween.
And they got 3 of them? 4 of them?
They made a bunch of spin-offs. I think I watched maybe like the second one.
Yeah.
But the original, just like most things, the sequels are rarely as good as the original.
Yep. This is no exception.
Yeah. So, I mean, Halloweentown, you can hop on Disney Plus. It's up there right now. Go check it out with the family. Number 8, The Witches.
Oh, boy. Anne Hathaway was amazing in this movie.
Nope.
Oh.
Nope.
Shit.
Not that one. We are not talking about the remake that just came out with Anne Hathaway, which...
Whoopsie.
Whatever. The film was fine, but it is not the original.
No. The original is
awesome.
fucking scary.
So I had this at number 8. You had it at number 6. Why don't you tell us about The Witches, Brian?
It came out in 1990. I was 2 at the time, and I think I seen it when I was like 3 or 4. All I can ever remember is the kid turning into a rat. That was by far the scariest thing I've ever seen before Nightmare on Elm Street 2.
So that didn't even scare me as much as when they cut to the room of all the women.
Yeah.
And they start scratching, taking off the wigs.
Right.
And they're all like just hideous.
Well, yeah, that was right before the rat scene. So I guess you could say that whole scene was just insane. And the star of the show, Angelica Houston, was
fantastic.
Just terrifying as the witch. And they actually made him ugly. Roald Dahl had a messed up mind, and they made him ugly and disgusting and gross, and it was just very well played.
And the practical effects were second to none. And that's what happens when you have, Jim Henson This was a Jim Henson film produced by him. So if he's involved, practical effects are going to be top notch.
Poor Bruno.
Yeah, it is a classic film. This is another one. If you're going to throw an age rating, I mean, you could be pretty young on this. I would say 7, 8.
Yeah, I mean, back in the day, I'd say 6, but nowadays, probably 8 and up.
Yeah, 7 or 8-year-olds and up, you'd be fine showing them The Witches. And then again, the remake with Anne Hathaway is out as well. So if you want to sit down with the kids and watch something a bit more modern,
you really want to scare your kids, show them that.
You can watch that, but I would highly recommend check out the original The Witches.
Yes.
Number 7, the friendly ghost himself,
Casper. Yep.
So I had this at number 8. Brian, this was not in your top 10.
Unfortunately not.
This was one of those films that, so I had this at number 8, and again, not in your top 10, but I could have ranked this potentially even higher.
Yeah.
But Casper it's one of those films that, I don't know, it came out in 95, so I was 10 years old, very impressionable age, and I remember going to see this when it came out in theaters. I'm trying to remember who the hell brought me to it. It may have been my mom, but in any case, I went and I fell in love with the film, and I fell in love with Christina Ricci.
Yeah, she unlocked things in me I didn't know were there.
And there's another film we're going to talk about in the honorable mentions, which little hint there.
Yeah.
That she also starred in and was fantastic in it. But I mean, this film, dude, you had Christina Ricci, Bill Pullman, Kathy Moriarty.
Yeah.
I mean, some A-list talent.
The cast was great. The ghosts were great. The effects were actually really good for the time.
Yeah, at the time, I mean, great CGI effects. And I like the fact that this film got pretty deep.
Yeah.
It went into, like, Casper's, like, because that was the whole thing with the ghosts. They forget their life.
Right.
And they travel through, and like he actually finds out, it goes into depth about how he died.
Yeah.
And like having like remorse about it.
And it was like, shit.
I was like, oh shit, like they're getting into it.
Then to cap it all off, they revealed Devon Sawa as Casper, and all the ladies and all the young women in the theater were like, oh, he's a dreamboat,
That was a great spin too, where like at the end, like he has the opportunity to, that's that whole like the Lazarus machine, I think it's called, or Project Lazarus, to actually bring him back to life. And nope. I mean, he ends up, I don't want to spoil too much, but Christina Ricci's Bill Pullman's character ends up dying. They end up bringing him back instead, and he gets the, whatever, like the 10 minutes.
Gets the shaft. Yeah, I mean, yeah. It was really emotional, really deep, which I feel like that's a trend back in the 90s. Kids' movies weren't afraid to go there. And it's rare nowadays. I mean, you got Inside Out and some other shit, but it's rare nowadays for them to go that deep in a kid's movie,
But always going to be one of my favorites. And
absolutely.
Again, this is another movie that I'm comfortably from 6, 7 years old on. You can turn this on, and the family will enjoy it.
I'd say you could even push it earlier, but definitely 6. Yeah.
Number 6, I'm going to let Brian take this one because this is where I texted him. I'm like, dude. Really?
Let me just...
Family friendly?
Let me just side note this, saying it is a PG-rated movie, so there is that.
Yeah, but this is like 80s PG.
Yeah.
80s PG is not the same as
I said,
current day PG.
We're covering all ages here, and I will preface this with saying 12 and up. If you're a horror fan and you want to show your kids a horror movie that's going to scare them, going to show them what horror is about, but also not kiddie, Poltergeist is your movie.
Yeah, so at number 6, original. We've got Poltergeist. Not in my top 10 because I'm not a psychotic person.
Oh, shit.
But
I was going to send you articles all day long about how horror can be good for kids. They're everything. They're out there on Pinstagram and stuff like that. But no, it's really good. There's not a lot of gore. There's not...
Is that right next to the anti-vax articles?
Yeah, pretty much. QAnon.com, I think it is.
You had this at number 3.
Because I truly think that a family of 4 with 2 preteens or tweens can sit down, watch this, get scared for Halloween while not getting messed up in the head. It's just about angry ghosts, There's no crazy, deep, brutal I mean, you got the buried skeletons in the back and shit, but it's nothing crazy. You know, if you really watch the movie and pay attention, they build the fright with atmosphere and all this other stuff. There's a little bit of weed smoking and a little bit of language. So I honestly would feel very comfortable having a tween kid and watching this.
It's funny. I mean, I'd almost argue that more of the sinister, creepy shit happened in the real world associated with this movie than it did in the actual film.
Right. Yeah. I mean, this house is clear.
This house is clear.
But yeah, dude, it's like really one of those movies, I believe, that is a great break into horror.
I can't shit on you too much because now that we're up to pick 5, this was my kind of risque pick for a family-friendly film, but I had to put it in here.
Yeah.
It is a Halloween staple, and I can confidently say my son is 5 right now. I give him another year or two, and I'm fine showing him this film. The original Beetlejuice.
Beetlejuice. I can never say it fast enough. Yeah, I completely agree. This is, pushing the edge a little bit, but perfectly acceptable for kids.
I had this at number 7. You had this at number 5, which was enough to push it up to number 5 overall. And, I mean, let's face it, it's one of Tim Burton's masterpieces.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, up and down, amazing actors. I mean, you have Alec Baldwin, Gina Davis, Michael Keaton, man. Winona Ryder.
All 4 of them, I mean, just great at everything they do.
Catherine O'Hara was awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, up and down, terrific acting, terrific story, and it was funny too.
Yeah.
And it was really cool how it delved into just the dead, being dead and being all that shit.
Tim Burton has this uncanny skill to make things that shouldn't be very scary. Like the faces they put on when they're trying to scare, when they open the mouths and like give them a long nose. Really creepy, but not conventionally scary.
It's not as scary because you see them beforehand and it shows you them doing it.
Right.
So it's not like a jump scare where they already have it.
Yeah.
It makes it less scary. Like one of the things, I think the main thing that scares me the most in this film is when Beetlejuice turns into like the snake.
Yeah.
That's scary as shit.
Yeah, the one when they're in the desert, and then also when the hand of shrimp comes down, and that always scared the fuck out of me, dude.
Shake, 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 senora, shake your body. Right.
And you have that song stuck in your head for a good year after, so.
But fantastic film, and it's one that, again, if you have, I would say, 7-8-year-old and above, might creep them out a little bit, but it's
not too bad.
Super fun family film.
I mean,
check it out.
They're growing up in this world right now, so nothing can really scare these tough bastards.
It's true.
Talk about being scared as a kid, though. This movie right here.
Yeah.
Number 4.
Well, before we can get into number 4, I do want to quickly mention, before we move off of Beetlejuice, the sequel's in the works, man.
Oh, yeah.
Michael Keaton is coming back to reprise the role of Beetlejuice.
Unfortunately, I don't think Keaton has it anymore. I respect him immensely because he's an awesome actor. Winona Ryder is an awesome actor, but both of them have had their time. They've moved on. They're just not there anymore, so I'm very worried about the sequel.
I mean, are they doing the original sequel? Do you remember what the original sequel was?
No.
The one that was pitched, it was Beetlejuice 2, Beetlejuice Goes Hawaiian.
Oh, Jesus
And it was
Christ.
Literally supposed to be about Beetlejuice in Hawaii.
Yeah, that would be...
I
guess if you're going to go bad, go full bad.
This is going back to the 90s. That was the original proposed script.
Yeah. Huh.
So...
That'd be interesting.
I can't picture it.
Yeah,
but
right?
I don't know, man. I do disagree with you on the Michael Keaton front. I still think he has it. I think he could bring it. I'd be interested to see.
In Spider-Man. I thought he was pretty good. I just don't think he has that energy and charisma anymore. He's an old fucker now,
Yeah, but he's also, he's a movie star. He's rich. They could pump him up with whatever the hell they got, those vitamins.
Yeah, those
and he'll
vitamins.
be like, all right, I'm ready to go.
I think they call them prednisone or something like that.
Yeah, pump him up with a shit ton of that. He'll be good to go.
Yeah.
Number 4, I ain't afraid of no ghost.
Who you going to call?
Ghostbusters, I had this at number 5. Brian, you had it at number 7. And, I mean, what else needs to be said?
It's, I mean, the scariest Marshmallow Man on Earth. And also, it did scare me. I remember this scaring me as a kid. Zool was fucking creepy. That hellhound was creepy as hell.
Are you the Keymaster?
And yeah, let's be honest. I found out I had a weird kink for like demon women because Sigourney Weaver hanging in the air looking like a zombie did all types of things to me. Yeah, did all types of things to me. She was
I mean,
so gorgeous back then.
Oh yeah, I mean, and the star power in this film. I mean, Even Reitman, Dan Aykroyd, Harold Ramis, Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd. It just goes on and on and on.
My favorite was, what was her name? The chick who answered the phone. Can you remember off the bat?
Thank you for calling Ghostbusters.
She was just great for dry humor, and you know, it was awesome. Everything about it was really good. Like I said, you could consider it a horror movie, adventure movie, and maybe even a little sci-fi. It was really good.
Yeah, I mean, and it goes on too. Like you just said, Sigourney Weaver, Ernie Hudson, man, Rick Moranis.
Yeah, dude.
I mean,
it's a shame what happened to him. I don't know if anybody knows this, but I mean, I think it's pretty.
The Rick Moranis.
I feel
story?
like pointing it out a little bit because dude's wife got cancer, and instead of like trying to make things balance and trying to make money, whatever, no, he just completely ditched Hollywood without a second glance. He said, nope, I'm leaving, taking care of my kids, taking care of my wife. Hollywood means nothing compared to my family. So he bowed out and did what he had to do as a man, and I will forever respect him for that.
Yeah, I'd love to see him. They've you know, he's been popping up here and there in some commercials and shit like that.
Yeah.
I'd love to see him make a comeback because,
dude, we could get a Little Giants 2.
Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. Ghostbusters. Oh, my God.
Yep, I'd love it. I would love it. Hopefully he at least has a cameo because we should mention Ghostbusters Afterlife. That shit's happening.
I'm excited for it. I've seen the trailer. I think it's on track to be really good.
You know, I love the fact that they are completely just retconning out the female Ghostbusters remake that happened years ago that was
good God,
horrendous.
Oh, good God.
But that is gone. So Ghostbusters at number 4, and that same goes for Ghostbusters 2.
Yeah.
So good. He is Vigo.
He is Vigo.
Number 3.
Zoo, I am Zoo.
So, Brian, this is actually because I made my rankings. I had my honorable mentions.
Still can't believe this.
And I saw you had this in your list.
Yep.
At number 1.
Number uno.
And this was the one that I literally wanted to bend over and kick myself. Because I was like, my God, this absolutely should have been in my top 10 because I love this film. And it screams Halloween.
It really does. And it started at like number 5 and then number 4. And the more I thought about it, there was never a movie I put on more, even one we're going to talk about next and after this, than this one. Know what I mean, Earl?
You know what I mean, Vern?
Know what I mean, Vern?
Number 3, Ernest Scared Stupid.
Best Halloween movie ever, in my opinion. It's
awesome.
Again, if we're talking about having everything you need for a family Halloween movie, it's got everything. Just a little bit of scare, you know, when they're turning kids into monsters, and that fucking troll.
That troll
looks like
awesome.
A walking gonosyphilitis, you know? And it's gooey, it's gross, it again screams Halloween.
Rimshot.
And Ernest P. Worrell, period, is just classic fucking family. So again, in 1991, this was where it was at for a Halloween movie.
Quick fun fandom fact, too. So Ernest, obviously played by the great Jim Varney.
Yeah.
You know, he hated this role. He hated playing Ernest.
I think I've heard that before.
Like, absolutely hated it. But, I mean, at the end of the day, he was so goddamn good at it.
That's the
and
kind of role,
successful.
Yeah, that's the kind of role you don't get out of. And I could see why you would hate it, because while he was amazing at it, if you go to find another job as, like, I don't know, playing the president of the United States or something, they're not going to be like, oh, dude, we should get Ernest to play the president, you know?
But I agree with you. I mean, it's my favorite out of all of the Ernest films. I do love Ernest Goes to Jail as well.
Yes.
That's really close behind that.
Yep. Even Saves Christmas. I mean, all of them. But this one, again, I cannot remember putting more a VHS in the VCR more than this tape.
Yeah, and like I said, I didn't have it in my top 10, but it should have been. In retrospect, after seeing you having it so high, I was like, shit.
It's been a while since we've had a Kirby moment between us, so.
Well, we're about to have another one.
No, we are not.
No, we are
I will
going.
defend my decision until the day I die.
This is where, so I was like, agreeing, like this, I made a mistake at the third pick overall.
I did not.
At our second pick overall, you made a mistake, good sir.
What's this? I did not make a mistake.
The Nightmare Before Christmas. Again, if you're watching on YouTube, we have a fantastic print
right there,
front and center of Jack Skellington by Wiz Yakuza. You can find him, again, just type in Wiz Yakuza on the Googles. He has a bunch of amazing artwork you can check out and procure. Highly recommend it.
Very good, very good.
I had this as my number one Halloween family film. Ladies and gentlemen.
Nope.
This was not in Brian's top 10.
Nope. I will always save this movie for after. There is enough to watch for Halloween. There is so many things for Halloween in my Halloween marathon. This can wait till after Halloween. Let me just paint a picture for you, Edward. It's Halloween, the 31st. You're in that Halloween spirit. You're watching all your horror movies. You wake up the next day, and all of a sudden, there's an empty void in you. You wake up, you don't know what's wrong. The clouds seem just a little less white. The sun seems a little less brighter. And you realize it's because Halloween is over. You really need something to ignite that Halloween spirit, but also get you ready for the coming seasons. That's where Nightmare Before Christmas comes in between Halloween and Christmas. It's a perfect bridge between the two. And to watch it before Halloween is sacrilege.
All right, my turn. This is my number one pick, and ignore everything Brian just said.
Nope.
Sit down with the family. Does not matter what age, and they will fall in love with this film. My son has been watching this film for years now, and he loves all of the songs. He loves it's a Tim Burton classic. The original stop animation is beautiful.
Yes.
The list goes on and on and on, and I will give Brian this. I understand what he's getting at because it does, it ties Christmas in a lot into the film. But it is still a Halloween movie. Even when they're tying Christmas in, it's with a Halloween spin.
Yeah.
So I love it. Every single October religiously since this film has come out in 1993, I have watched this. I will never get tired of it. Danny Elfman's score is just unbelievable.
There's a
again, Tim Burton, man.
On Disney Plus, there's a show where they talk about each episode talks about a new project, and they went over Nightmare Before Christmas and what went into making that movie. It's fucking amazing. You really should check it out if you haven't. I couldn't tell you the name of it, where it came from, but they talk about the puppetry and the claymation, all that stuff, and it's really cool to get behind the scenes.
I haven't seen it, but I know what you're talking about because I saw a quick little blurb from that.
Yeah.
Or it must have been from that, and they were showing on set and all of the giant they had all the set pieces with the characters and moving them into the stop animation.
And they show the big twirly thing. It's really cool. And just to make it clear, this is one of my favorite movies ever. Just after Halloween. That's all. That's all. That's all, folks.
You're wrong. You're wrong.
And you're wrong.
So yeah, number 2, The Nightmare Before Christmas, which leads us into our number 1 family-friendly Halloween film.
House of a Thousand Corpses.
Yep. Absolutely.
I mean, do we really need to say it? No, of course. We really need to say it. Come, little children, I'll take thee away. Hocus Pocus.
It's all just a bunch of hocus pocus.
It's the classic. the one and only Hocus Pocus for Halloween.
I had this at number 2. Brian had it at number 2. That was enough to push it up to consensus number 1.
I feel like in the world, it's number 1.
Yeah,
for sure.
I would agree. And especially in this region, we record this podcast in New Hampshire. We're both from Massachusetts originally.
Yeah.
And this whole film was filmed in Salem, Massachusetts.
And dude,
the heart of witches.
Yeah, and I mean, I grew up in North Reading. We were about 15 minutes away from Salem if we wanted to be, and we'd go on field trips. My mother would take us to the Witch Museum all the time.
Oh yeah.
I mean, we knew Salem growing up, so seeing it in this movie was just amazing.
And again, obviously starring the Sanderson sisters.
Yes.
Bette Midler, Sarah Jessica Parker, and Kathy Najimy, which just did an amazing job.
I'm starting to really realize where my fascination with gothy, weird, kinky women.
It was Sarah Jessica Parker, wasn't
and
it?
Christina Ricci and
Oh, yeah.
Sigourney Weaver. Like, it's all adding up here. Fun fact, did you know Bette Midler, when she signed the contract for this movie, there had to be, I think it was at least a 5-second shot or a 3-second shot of her feet walking.
What?
Weird, right? I know, but true. Look it up. I promise you it's true. And we actually get the shot in the movie when she's singing that song in the cafeteria. It shows her in her witch boots walking, and it's actually one of the coolest shots in the movie.
Interesting.
And I heard she was a bitch on set, but yeah, very
So,
interesting.
I mean, the film is just, and again, randos, if you have not seen this film and you have a family, or even if you don't have a family, watch this. Watch this month. It is a classic. It never goes out of style. It's funny. It's got, I mean, if you've got younger kids, it's got some quasi-scary parts, but it's nothing that's like, oh, shit.
Yeah, no.
It's more just the whole, it just oozes Halloween.
It really does. I mean, you got zombies.
It's on Halloween night.
Zombies, witches, Halloween night. You got a black cat. You
Billy
boy. And
Zachary Binks, man.
Yeah. Zachary Binks. It really does. And I'm wondering, is it as big across the country like in the West as it is? I know it's big everywhere, but I wonder if you get the same feeling growing up out there watching this than you do growing up near Salem.
I mean, it hit home for us more, which makes sense, but yeah. I mean, I think based on the numbers alone, like this film is just beloved. And to go further, I mean, again, Hollywood, they're out of ideas. They got to keep rehashing. They're coming out with a sequel.
Yes, they are.
And they have all signed on. So Bette Midler, Sarah Jessica Parker, Kathy Najimy, they're all coming back as the Sanderson sisters once again.
Number one, they're not filming in Salem. So, F that shit.
Really?
Yeah, I heard
that sucks.
I heard Rhode Island. And I've seen a couple behind the scenes pics from it. And number two, where can they really go with the story? I mean, I'm sure they'll go somewhere. And I'll watch it. And I'm sure it'll actually turn out okay. But something tells me they're going to go the female empowerment route and the wokeness and all that crap. And
I mean, I hope not. I hope it just sticks with,
just
in line with the original.
Fun,
but
be Halloween,
But the original, I mean, it left off on, they ended it perfectly.
And I mean, let's be real. Sarah Jessica Parker cannot hang over a broomstick and show her bodacious babas like she did back then.
Yeah.
That was half the draw. It wasn't the singing that got the kids to follow her. It was the ginormous cleavage.
I would have followed her too, man.
Yeah, absolutely. It'll be cool. I remember we've had rumors since I was a kid. Oh, Hocus Pocus 2 is coming out. Hocus Pocus 2 is... We even got fake trailers and fan trailers and all this other shit.
Yeah, now it's happening,
It's
though.
finally happening.
It's happening.
And hey, fuck it. For a new generation of kids, why not?
Yeah. Let's get into some honorable mentions here. So, we've got a couple. And right off the bat, the Addams Family. Dun-dun-dun-dun.
Yeah. I don't know. Did I put this on my list?
I'd have to... No, I don't think you did. It was on mine.
It got the boot. Yeah.
It was on
the
mine.
original, by the way, not...
No, not the bullshit animated new
yeah,
ones.
not the new
shit
animated
sucks.
bullshit.
But yeah, the original live-action Addams Family and Addams Family Values. Great films you can check out with the whole family. A lot of fun.
Yep.
Hotel Transylvania. All three of them.
Adam Sandler's Dracula.
Yeah. They are excellent.
They really are.
They're really good, and they put a really good spin on, people assume that, the monsters are the bad guys, and in this film, it's a huge spin. Like, they make humans out to be the bad people.
Right. And it makes sense, because humans suck.
And, it's a whole... It's awesome. And that's another one. Even super young, 5, 6 years old.
Yeah.
They will love the Hotel Transylvania movies. Check them out. Another one I had in my top 10, Coraline.
Coraline. I don't think I've ever seen this one.
Oh, my God. You've never seen Coraline?
No, I think I've seen bits and pieces of it.
You need to watch Coraline.
Yeah. This is one I might have to check out this year.
And again, fantastic film. The art, the stop animation.
Yeah.
Oh, it gets creepy, man. When she goes into that little hatchway and you get into the other mother and everybody's got all like the eye
buttons.
Yeah, buttons for eyeballs and creepy as shit.
Yep.
Here's some more that you had in your top 10.
Tremors, another perfect breakthrough.
Kevin Bacon.
To horror. You got the one and only Kevin Bacon in arguably his best role ever. It's what broke me into horror.
And again, I could see preteens being okay with this.
At least one of my, break-in horror films. Not quite the Halloween vibe you're looking for, but if you're looking for a horror movie to show your early teen kids, I'd say even 9 and up, honestly. There's very little in this movie that's like too inappropriate for kids. But that, and then this one's actually scarier than Poltergeist, so for kids, but scary stories to tell in the dark.
I used to read them when I was
younger. Not
younger.
only is it based off kids' books, where I used to read them in elementary school and piss myself every time, that how they got released in elementary schools, I have no idea. But the movie itself is pretty freaky, but also very appropriate for preteens or teenagers, and that's really a strictly dickly horror movie.
Strictly dickly.
Yeah.
What is Return to Oz?
Return to Oz is not meant to be a horror movie, but it is fucking terrifying. It's the sequel to Wizard of Oz.
Really?
It has the chick from The Craft. What's her name? Farmiga. Whatever. The crazy girl from The Craft plays Dorothy. She returns to Oz, but Oz is taken over by this witch, and some of the enemies and shit are just downright terrifying.
Bach.
Yeah, Firuza Bach. And there's a princess who literally switches heads. She's got like 100 heads in a hallway, and she switches heads as needed. And then there's these dudes on roller wheels that have two faces. It's one of the scariest movies I've ever seen in my life. And again, good to break a kid into a scary movie, but not necessarily a Halloween movie.
All right, so getting away from Brian's creepy shit.
Yeah.
Coco. So not a Halloween film per se.
I haven't seen this, and I saw this on lists. I'm like, I thought it was like a...
But it follows the Day of the Dead. So the Mexican holiday of Day of the Dead.
Yeah.
And if you haven't seen it, Brian, this is another film. You've got to get it on your list.
Yep.
Fantastic.
Cool.
Awesome film. Great music. E.T., always a classic.
Yeah, they got the Halloween scenes.
They tie into Halloween a lot. Little Monsters.
Yeah.
That was one I really wanted to get in here.
Need them. Dude, I don't... I didn't think of it for Halloween, but I should have.
Yeah, Little Monsters, fantastic. Corpse Bride.
Yeah.
Again, always a classic, but always
good one.
Inferior to me.
Yeah.
To The Nightmare Before Christmas. Frankenweenie, another great one.
Yep.
Paranorman.
That was a good one.
Labyrinth.
Scary, yes.
Get David Bowie just rotating those balls with the baby with the power.
I thought you were talking about his bulge. I was like,
or his bulge.
I really thought you were going there, and I'm like, are you diddling his bulge right now? But yes.
Who's do? You do. Voodoo?
Voodoo? The troll in that one is actually pretty damn scary, too. And Jennifer Connelly.
Oh, yes.
Good Lord.
Oh, yes. Gremlins. Gremlins is always... Gremlins is weird because I always... you can watch it during Halloween, but it's almost more of a Christmas film.
I feel that way as well.
And then I put them back to back for that exact reason. So Harry Potter is in the same vein for me.
Yeah.
So it is, it's a good film series you can watch during Halloween because it does have to do with witches and all that shit, but they always tie in like Christmas a lot in them as well.
I never think of Harry Potter when it comes to Halloween personally, but that's just me. Taylor will kill me for saying that.
Yeah, I mean, that's why it's in the honorable mentions, not on the top 10. Scooby-Doo.
Scooby-Doo.
Scooby-Dooby-Doo.
Yeah.
Any
Scooby-Doo.
Any Scooby-Doo. I mean, the animated movies, the live action, they're all actually pretty damn good.
Yeah.
And then The Great Pumpkin Charlie Brown.
Of course. A classic. That's like the Grinch Who Stole Christmas of Halloween.
It is, yeah. Brian, you got anything else you want to add?
One more, Monster House. That was great kids movie. That
is a good one.
Good for all ages. Pretty creepy, animated, all good.
I'll mention too the live action Goosebumps with Jack Black.
Yeah,
that was pretty decent as well.
So one of my main gripes was naming a Goosebumps movie, but you have The Mask 2.
Yeah,
you have a lot of them. So those are also good kid stuff. The actual, 2-part movies that came out in the TV series, those are really good too.
Well, we did movies this time. Maybe next year, Randos, we'll actually do either television episodes or something like that would be good for family friendly to go back and check out.
This would be good.
It would be good.
This would be good.
Well, Randos, thank you for sticking with us. Hopefully we gave you some great films you can check out with the whole family.
Yes, sir. And now we can dive into the creepy shit, the freaky shit, the kinky shit.
So, Brian, next week we fight, correct?
Yes, we do.
Fandom Fighters next week, Randos.
Oh.
Mono e mono.
Right. One of these days we just have to have a physical boxing match with characters taped to the gloves. Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Fandom Fighters is going to be a good one.
All right, Randos, thanks for listening. Fandom at Random Podcast, we're out. Peace.